Hello everyone, my name is William Benfield and I am a mid-tier developer here at SAS for the R&D, and I will be going over multiple parents and other interactive modeling node enhancements in SAS visual forecasting. So to start, I will begin with an overview of what the interactive modeling node actually is. It represents a key modeling capability that provides the forecaster with the tools to evaluate, compare, and select models. It's conducted on a series-by-series basis. Analyzing a time series in more detail, you can compare multiple models visually and manually select champion models. Visual forecasting provides large-scale automatic model generation, independent variable and event selection, parameter optimization, champion model selection from a set of automatically generated candidate models, forecast generation. You can also enhance the system-generated models with personalized attention. So the interactive modeling node itself is used to examine and make changes to models selected by each modeling node in a pipeline. You can view plots and tables, compare models, select your own model champions, and create a new model for each individual time series. An important thing to note going forward before I demo is that a time series is an aggregation of transactional data into specified time intervals and sorted according to unique combinations of the default attributes or bivariables. And I'll be starting by going over our new enhancements in the interactive modeling node. You can connect multiple modeling strategies to the IM node, and you can specify the champion selection metric and specify other node options. The second new enhancement is the ability when selecting a system-generated model as the champion, a copy of that model is made and marked as the champion. This is helpful when model and/or forecastability are important to you. You can delete a custom model or delete multiple custom models at the same time if you've created more than one. You can set a 0 or missing forecast by series. This is useful if a product is discontinued, but you want to keep a history of that for hierarchical modeling. You can generate the constituent node weight or outweight table in the IM node. You can view in the model comparison node if the IM node is the champion modeling node and access it from the save data node after the IM node is placed. You can also specify model families, ESM, ARIMA, or any of the other models used for the system-generated models within the interactive modeling node. I will now begin a demo of these new features. So sorry about that. To go over that again, all I did was I set sale as a dependent variable here on the right. And then I'm selecting product line, product name, and region name, and we'll be setting that as our bivariables. And I'm going to set product line as our reconciliation level. And then I will be selecting cost, discount, line, and price as our independent variables. I will now go over the pipelines tab. And from here, we have our data node, which I'm going to right click, go to add child forecast modeling, and I'm going to add a naive model. And then I'm also going to right click the data tab, go to add child node forecast modeling, and add a non-seasonal model. And so for a quick overview, the auto forecasting node just selects auto forecast a series of time series variables over a period of time. A naive model just gives a naive model for those same variables over a period of time, and a non-seasonal model does the same. It creates a non-seasonal time period for that series of models. So to add our interactive modeling node, we're just going to right click, go to add child node, post-processing, and add interactive modeling. Then to add the multiple parent nodes that we have here, you'll just need to right click, go to add models, and we can add our naive model, as well as right click, add models, and add our non-seasonal model. And if you'll notice here, all three models are connected to the pipeline itself, as well as they're connected down to the model comparison tab. So if you run this pipeline here, and the interactive modeling node doesn't always have to be the champion. It can also select the auto forecasting naive model or non-seasonal model as the champion. For the sake of time, I'm not going to run this here. I'm going to go back to projects and go to demo 2, where I have the same setup. However, I've already ran the run pipeline button just to save a little bit of time. And I also added a save data node here, which you can do by right-clicking and then going to add child node, and then it'll have save data node. I forgot to do that earlier. And then from here, I wanted to show our changes in the interactive modeling node. You can reapply committed changes after the pipeline run. This was here before. Under automatic forecasting, you can now include custom models. Under model suggestion, we have this include ESM models, include REMAX models, and include IDM models. I've deselected include IDM models for the sake of this demo. And under output tables and attributes, we can now, you'll see weight of constituent nodes, which is important for our outweight table at the end. And under time series, we've also added model forecast components, which I will not be selecting for this demo, but it's useful to know that we have that feature now. I will now be going into the interactive modeling node and showing the new features within here. So I'm going to add a new custom model for ARIMA. I'm going to call this ARIMA delete 1 and click save. And then I'm going to add a second ARIMA model, calling it ARIMA delete 2 and selecting save. And if you'll notice this trash can icon at the top, you can click this after selecting both of the custom models and delete them. One thing to note is that you cannot delete any of the inherited or auto-generated models. You can only delete custom models. Now, I'll go to the side series pane, right-click, and you'll see this new set horizon forecast value, where if you look at the plot down at the bottom, you can set the horizon forecast as missing, which will blank out all of the values, or you can set the horizon forecast values as 0, making them all 0, which, as I stated earlier, is useful if a product has been discontinued. I'm going to revert this back to statistical forecast for the sake of this demo. Then I'm going to go to region 1, line 1, product 2. And from here, I'm going to create a copy of DAG1 REMAX 1, or I'm actually going to set it as champion, I'm sorry, misspoke. And that will create a copy of this model, which is useful for preserving our data. Next, I'm going to go to region 2, line 2, product 6, and selecting DAG1 RegARIMA 1, right-click, and go to create a copy of the selected model. I'm going to go to independent variables and add price, and this will create a custom model that is better than the original models that were there before. And I'm going to commit this as champion and commit our changes. So now that our changes have been committed, that was all I wanted to showcase in the interactive modeling node itself. So I will now go back to our pipeline tab and rerun the pipeline to make those changes take effect. I'll now open the Save Data node to show the changes that we have in there by right-clicking and going to Edit Save Options. And under Attributes, we can select Weight of Constituent Nodes here and include an output. And we'll need to select the output library for all tables. So for this, I'm just going to click on Cashier Default and Cast User 1, EMD User 1, which is the user I'm currently logged in as, and select OK. And if you click this column right here, it'll show a sample table of the data, which shows a list of zeros and ones, which shows which model was selected as the champion for the series. And for the custom models, if a custom model was selected as the champion, it will also show the name of the custom model there as well. So I will close that out and click OK here. And run the pipeline one more time so that those save data node changes take effect. Now in this pipeline, the interactive modeling node was selected as the champion after the pipeline was run. But if you wanted to specify any other node, you can right-click on the model comparison node, go to select champion model, and select any of our models as the champion that you want to see fit. But for this demo, we want the interactive modeling node to be the champion. So I can right-click and view the results of the model comparison node, and we'll see that the interactive modeling node is the champion, along with some summary data of the pipeline. We can also go to output data here, go to outweight, and this is another place that you can view the same information about which models and series were chosen as champion. So that is all for my demo. I will now be going back to my PowerPoint and giving a quick recap. So overall, we connected multiple modeling strategies to the IM node. We also went over when selecting a system-generated model as the champion, a copy of that model is made and marked as the champion. We went over deleting multiple selected custom models. We went over the new feature of how to set a zero or missing forecast by series. We went over how to generate the constituent node weight outweight table in the IM node. And finally, the ability to specify model families, ESM, ARIMA, etc., used for the system-generated models within the interactive modeling node. Thank you, and I'll be answering any questions you might have for me. Yeah. Can. Sorry, that works, yeah.
SAS Visual Analytics.
From the speaker over there? Okay.
I use SAS Visual Analytics.
Yes.
SAS Visual Statistics for Bayer. What is the difference between Model Studio? We started the application with SAS Visual Analytics and then changed to Model Studio because I saw that we something similar SAS Visual Analytics and SAS Visual.
Okay, so I'm not completely sure myself what are all the differences between the two and what those differences are, but I would be more than happy to walk you to my booth with me, and I have a colleague that would be able to better answer that question for you. So are there any other questions? Well, thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate you listening to me.